Peace is a notable aim in the life of a yogi. And this is true because the converse is true too. In other words, the human experience is also colored by non-peace or friction or violence. That's also true. And the yoga process then was in part born out of some reckoning for the friction, the inherent friction that comes, that we're all born into. Whether that friction comes from outer sources, floods, hurricanes, hot days, or, as we're seeing more recently, war. That's one grade or layer of what I'm just generically calling friction, right? Adversity, etc. If we examine a little closer, we can likely find examples of friction that occurs not by way of outer inputs, but in our own mental space. Some persistent sense of perhaps not being enough, or being frustrated when our desires aren't fulfilled, right? Or perhaps we carry some trauma, or perhaps we have that there's some things we like about our body, some things we don't like about our body, or like about our personality, or don't like about our, etc. It's an endless list. The presumptive stance within the mind space that says this isn't enough, or this isn't it, or I'm not enough, or I'm not it. And so how to reconcile or address this condition? How to move towards peace. And I refer to Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, and this is just one of many teachings, Sutra 233, which is among a body of verses that are leading up to the introduction of Ashtanga Yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga practice. .33 says Vitarka Bhadne Pratipratyaksha Bhavanam, which means when there's negativity, contemplate or focus on the opposite, the converse. The converse. So if we have jealousy towards someone or envy towards someone, according to his prescription, we would consider blessing that person or appreciating their success. if we have anger or hostility towards someone, to extend them love and compassion. In a word, reversal. To reverse negative impulses. Just like the because you say so. Just 180 right now. Or however many degrees you can nudge your way in the Tarka direction. Positive direction. And in the larger sense, again, this is all lead up to the Ashtanga Yoga ladder, right? The sort of foremost vehicle of the yoga process, all 8 limbs. In the larger sense, yoga itself is a reversal. Reversing our presumed tendency towards individuality, towards separation, which, by the way, is the very center of all the distress and friction I was describing earlier. To move towards a universal ideal or universal identity. Yoga is a reversal of outward flowing mind in favor of one that's more introspective, deeply introspective, samadhi grade introspective. To ascend the ladder of awareness, attention, into its primal origin, to our primal origin. To reverse fragmentation in favor of integration and universality. That's the big reversal. And we can also practice that in small or relative ways. Being in relationships would be great opportunity to practice reversing negative tendencies. In a sense, we invert the breath. A movement from erratic pulsation of inhalation and exhalation into more systematic and coordinated patterns that eventually lead to utter stillness, even suspension of respiration altogether. Kaivalya Kumbhaka, in the words of Patanjali. It's a path that speaks both to our immediate circumstances as well as our, say, ultimate nature or ultimate potential.